Calgary's housing market is facing historic levels of pressure. Waves of people moving to Calgary, coupled with tough economic times and increases in construction costs, saw housing prices soar. Everyone forced to act, to change the rules and push the boundaries of how to deliver more housing to a city that is bursting at its seams. Housing providers worked quickly to get projects off the ground, but a local organization knew there wasn't time to wait. Housing was needed now. Many Calgarians forced to cut costs to save on rent, many facing homelessness. The solution was simple: going back to basics and mass producing modular units in a factory for a fraction of the time and cost.
Well, we create housing. We create housing for Calgarians, for working Calgarians. Whether it's a more professional style job or more a blue collar job, over time, we have always been driven to provide housing for the hardworking people that drive the economy of the city.
Jillian Code is the president and CEO of Attainable Homes Calgary, a nonprofit, city-owned subsidiary that has worked to create affordable housing since 2009, serving everyone from truck drivers to cleaners to construction workers. They've constantly evolved to meet the demands of the city.
Everything that we do, every second of every day, every activity we're involved in, is aligned with the ultimate goal of every Canadian having a dignified place to live.
Escalating costs post-pandemic and a wildly popular Alberta is Calling campaign set up by the provincial government to draw workers here stretched Calgary's housing supply. In response, in the fall of 2023, Calgary's City Council passed an extensive housing strategy called Home is Here. The impact catapulted the city to become a national leader in housing starts. But as the city saw housing prices begin to dip, an issue remained. Many working Calgarians still couldn't afford their home, affordability that modular housing could provide. He set down a path talking with modular housing builders across the region, eventually connecting with a potential solution just right down the road, a facility with decades of experience in building modular ATCO structures.
I asked him, how do you feel about mass producing the same unit type over and over on the factory line? He said back to me, let's talk.
Believe it or not, you're in the heart of Calgary, and you're in a facility that is about 240,000 square feet. And what we do here is 3D volumetric manufacturing, predominantly with wood frame construction. We operate 5 facilities across Canada, so this is our largest one. Out of this facility, you'll get 2 finished modules per day, and out of each other facility, you'll also get 1 module per day.
Just off of Crowchild Trail in southwest Calgary, the 3 production lines at ATCO's manufacturing facility provided exactly what Attainable Homes was looking for. ATCO's facility is designed for efficiency. Everything done in-house, from the initial planning all the way to installing appliances on a finished piece. There's no room for waste. Every board, every screw in place to keep with a tight timeline. If there are delays in one area of the 21-step production line, the entire factory will slow down. The design is also immune to Calgary's short construction season. While rain or snow can cause issues in a traditional construction site, that can't happen here. The risk of theft or a break-in at the site is also dramatically reduced. ATCO says with modular, the ability to remove disruption and save time is key.
And I don't think that can be understated, because oftentimes projects do run over schedule and over budget. But we try to really emphasize on the predictability piece, because it's really what's going to make this program work nationally, is if the builders, the manufacturers, can really offer a solution that is, puts any angst away that the developer or owner may otherwise have, especially with a system that is. It's been around for a long time, but not necessarily mainstream as it is today. And there's probably a lot of questions in terms of the efficacy of the modular building and how that feeds into an overall program.
ATCO's guarantee was what Attainable Homes needed, and vice versa. The two collaborating from the get-go was unconventional, according to Gagne, but it's what turned the bold vision into reality.
key to the success of this project was really being integrated at the front end and not really relying on a design, bid, build process, which is very common in the industry. It was really working in lockstep with Attainable Homes to really understand what their vision was.
On Tate's end, he calls it a match made in heaven.
It's gone very well. We handle the upfront work in terms of land acquisition, doing the design, meeting the market need, getting the permitting, all of that stuff, and they build it. But we came together right at the onset. They brought their construction technique know-how. We brought our understanding of all the early stuff and who our market is, worked together, always in the same meetings all the time, very open, honest conversations that allowed us to get on the production line in the factory 7 months ago.
This is 605 Studio West, located on a small corner lot in the west end of Calgary's downtown along the C-train line. It's made up of 56 modular units constructed in the ATCO facility. But just over 6 months ago, this lot was dirt. Nothing but a construction fence, excavator, and belief from Tate that pushing the envelope would yield success.
You connected with ATCO at the end of 2023. When did you ever think 2 years later that you would have a building like this right here?
Boy, great question. Yeah,
Yeah?
I did.
Each unit was built in only 21 days on the factory line. Then, one by one, made the 7-kilometer journey from the ATCO facility up Crowchild Trail to downtown, where a crane stacked the units together. That process taking just 10 days, a fraction of what conventional builds take. This apartment right across the street, similar in size and also done by Attainable Homes, took 21 months. But the priority for them isn't just speed, it's affordability. In the conventional build, rental rates for a 1-bedroom cost around $1,280 a month, and for a 2-bed, it's $1,660. Both, though, lower than the average rental rates in the city, according to a recent RentFaster report online. But rent for the modular built studio apartment, it's even lower.
We have 84 units in that building. They're all 365 square foot studios. Our working rent rate now, we're about $1,050 a month, all in utilities. So we're $1,050 per month to live there.
There are requirements. Your income can't be over a certain threshold, it must be your only home, and you can't rent it out to others.
Got to prove you have work, got to prove what your income is, because we're not renting these units to people to make $120,000, right? The goal is to serve workforce Calgarians who drive the economy. You could have pretty close to a full-time hard-working job, or real honest good work, where you're not maybe making much more than minimum wage. You can live in that building. That's the goal.
If building modular is quick and affordable, could we see widespread rollout in the future? Coming up, is modular housing really the way out of the housing crisis?
The lower our rents can be, the more interest we're going to get.
As Calgary grows, building modular could provide an affordable solution, but the idea isn't new at all. In fact, it's the opposite. After World War II, the modular industry exploded across the country, helping solve the housing crisis at that time. And now, demand is picking back up. In the spring of 2024, then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau toured a modular facility here in Calgary, announcing large investment in housing in which modular would play a key role. And recently, Prime Minister Mark Carney's Build Canada Homes initiative, launched this fall, says it will use cost-efficient and modern methods of construction to build homes, including modular, citing a potential to cut timelines in half and reduce costs. The idea drawing critique from the federal opposition, who place some of the blame for the housing crisis on bureaucracy, writing delays that Canadian developers face when building homes are primarily not an issue of the speed of construction or cost. Delays are caused by various levels of government, with city approvals now taking up to 31 months in Canada's largest cities. Now, Calgary doesn't take that long for approvals. The report cited by the Conservatives ranks Calgary as 5th best for housing outcomes nationally, with approvals here taking about 4 months. But it's that approval, that certainty, that Tate says is paramount in getting more projects like this built.
Vancouver, at the time that our current housing minister, Gregor Robertson, was mayor, he was at the leading edge of building modular built in a factory housing within Vancouver. I've toured some over time, it's great stuff. But the notion of being able to perpetuate the continuity schedule through continued access to land, I'm not going to say it fell away, but without access to the dirt, the projects end. Without access to a permitting de-risking strategy that allows you to get the certainty of the approvals, the continuity ends. So I've seen across the country these things start, but they're difficult to maintain because you have to de-risk all 3 aspects: land, money, and certainty.
Tate says Attainable Homes has all 3 aspects. The experience of his team to find ways to streamline the permit process. They have city-approved land, financial backing from various partners, and a desire to charge as little as they can for rent.
Keep the cost down to build as much as we can, but still build great product. We do that by limiting ourselves to 6-story wood frame. Way cheaper to build 6-story wood frame in Calgary than concrete. That's the reality. We do not build underground parkades. An underground parkade in that building would be an additional 1/3 the cost.
Wow.
Yeah, and the site's so small, it wouldn't work anyway, technically. We don't build mixed-use buildings. So the main floor is not an area with retail in it. We're not Attainable Retail Calgary. We're Attainable Homes Calgary. So we're able to have units on the main floor of that building that we can rent out that actually all have 100+ square foot terraces. So that, maintaining cost discipline, and then the absolute wonderful benefit of getting a Housing Capital Initiative grant from the City of Calgary, totaling $5.5 million, allowed the cost of that building to come down 1/4. That's what drives our ability to get to that $10.50 rent per month.
The units are cookie cutter, each one is the exact same. It helps speed up the build process, but is a limitation that might turn some away from modular. But for a growing number of Calgarians who are simply trying to make ends meet, it's a lifeline. There is another layer that has played a role in preventing widespread rollout of affordable housing. This UCalgary professor who studies urban planning and housing policy says public stigma and NIMBYism add risk to a project's approval.
At the end of the day, no one wants to see social housing across the street, but people realize that we need more of that. And with the modular, there is another sort of layer of complexity. Oh my God, this is going to be this giant box on top of the typical issues that people associate with, again, the old wave of public housing and social housing projects.
Tate says around 300 Calgarians come to them monthly looking for a place to call home. And it's difficult for many to save money. Numbers from the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation suggest that 70% of Calgary households that earn fewer than $60,000 a year are spending more than 1/3 of their income on shelter. That percentage, a standard metric across industries when determining if housing is deemed affordable or not. But it's likely that the affordability issue is even worse than we know. The numbers from CMHC are based on a nearly 5-year-old federal census from the spring of 2021. In that time, Calgary's population has boomed while inflation rose. The Calgary Food Bank reporting a stark increase in clients who have income from employment over those years, saying simply having a job is no longer a solution for food insecurity. Working Calgarians have also been pushed into homelessness. A 2024 point-in-time count from the Calgary Homeless Foundation found that more than 1/3 of people experiencing homelessness had lost their housing due to a lack of income. Regulations around housing and affordability became a hot topic in the city when blanket rezoning was up for discussion in council chambers in the spring of 2024, drawing hundreds of Calgarians to speak at City Hall. The controversial bylaw passed and remains a talking point and a key platform issue in the latest civic election, with now Mayor Jeremy Farkas running on a platform of removing blanket rezoning in favor of more targeted measures aimed at affordability.
I think what this project is about, it's really building that critical share of non-market housing, and that is a very different model. A lot of subsidies are required, and I think it's one way is really providing the land for free or notional amount, like $1 or $10, just to have a contractual obligation. It's a very complex process. I think the idea is also to develop prototypes so that we don't have to go through this process of discovery, rediscovery, retesting.
It's proof of concept, something Tate says he hopes will enable momentum.
The key to all this right now, and why I'm so excited about the conversation, this isn't just a one-off experiment. The technique and the promise of what modular factory built housing is there. It's right there in front of us. It's understanding how all the elements come together to perpetuate the continuity. That's what we're hoping to be able to do here. So yes, it's been done across Canada. Is there interest in it? Absolutely. Federal government wants to do it, wants to support it. Builders want to do it, both nonprofit and for-profit. The manufacturing community wants to do it. It's only through identifying where the risks are, understanding how to risk manage, give the certainty into the process that is needed, can we actually supercharge this.
Now, this building is just the start of what Attainable Homes hopes to achieve. Coming up, the next piece of land that Attainable Homes is looking to turn from dirt to done in a little more than a year.
We could build 500 a year.
The City of Calgary's housing strategy includes pushing for higher density, especially in areas next to transit lines. This is the site of Attainable Homes' next build that will bring nearly 200 units to the vibrant community of Sunnyside.
It's as center ice a site as you could have. It's a triangular site right at the foot of the train station, basically across the tracks from Safeway. It's phenomenal. We started looking at that site 2 years ago, through City Council's request for us to do so. Started looking at it. The goal and outcome for the site is very clear. Build as cost effectively as we can, as many below market as we can get rental units as possible. Build it modular for speed, for efficiency, for quality.
This building will have 1 and 2 bedroom units with balconies and an exterior that's reminiscent of the nearby Boat River.
So we'll be building in April. Take a few months to build it in the factory. We'll be shipping containers and stacking on that site next fall. It's incredible.
And he's just getting started. Attainable Homes currently has a pipeline of land in the queue enough for 1,500 units. And a goal that harnessing the momentum they've had easing the permitting and application process could enable them to build non-stop.
My unrelenting personal, now shared publicly, goal is that that production line that you've now toured at ATCO has our product on it forever. I want to be building, this is the dream, I would love to be building one module forever on that line. Once the last box moves into stage 2 of the 21-step line, the next project shows up. And then the next one after that. If we can do that, only one line, there are 3 lines there. Only one line, we can build 500, up to 500 units a year. We don't need another factory, don't have to work at night. Just with what's there right now, provided we can compete in a market where other people want to be on the line, right? If we can build a high quality, replicated, modular box over and over and over and take advantage of that like industrial strength they have up there, we could build 500 a year.
ATCO also eager to tap into their decades of experience in building modular to share what is possible, saying they're ready to ramp up if the demand is there.
It's really about how do we further optimize the processes to be able to maybe take a unit that takes 21 days to 15 days. So really amping up the capacity that we already have We also have the ability to increase manpower. So more people that we have, we can produce more. We also have the ability to, I'll say, unlock some untapped opportunities in terms of optimizing the facility with night shifts and day shifts, that kind of thing.
Solving the housing crisis and helping ease affordability requires all hands on deck, from the feds up in Ottawa right down to the construction workers who bring these buildings to life. It's a tall task, but the end result of getting affordable housing into the hands of Calgarians will change lives.
It's all about kids, it's all about families, it's all about people, it's all about singles, it's all about Canadians. We're a country of everything. Water, clean air, unbelievable level of education, unbelievable cultures that form the mosaic of who we are. We have everything here. We have vast tracts of land. We have everything you could ever want, and yet we have some of the most expensive housing on earth. I'm doing good. My life's good. I got a couple of great kids. I'm able to do this job, which I love. I believe all of us in this country should be able to share in that, should not have to be grinding every day, worried about whether to buy a regular banana, no banana at all, or an organic banana. Buy what you want to fuel your family. Not be in fear of every day not being able to pay the bills. Be able to put that aside, have the safety of your shelter, and then actually turn your energies and attention to helping us all build the Canada we think we are.
With calls for more affordable housing countrywide, he hopes their made-in-Calgary solution can act as proof that ingenuity and a belief in a better future can make a real impact. I'm Jillian Code. Thank you for watching.